At Podshop Studios in London on Friday, the 7th of February 2025, I, Mutia, from the Leading in Love podcast, and Emma from the Sex from Every Angle podcast, joined forces on the captivating topic of attraction, covering friendship, dating, love, and so much more. We decided to collaborate to encourage meaningful conversations with those who hold different perspectives and opinions, as we feel it's vital to engage with one another, to spread understanding and empathy. Most importantly, we aim to promote a message of peace and unity, especially in the face of oppression, stigma, and hatred that often divides us. So tune in as we explore these essential themes and share our personal insights on attraction. Welcome to another episode of the Leading in Love podcast. My name is Mutia, for all of you that don't know. I'm a healthcare professional and I support adolescents who are transitioning out of care, age 15 to 25 years old. However, this podcast is designed for the emotionally intelligent adult and features thought-provoking discussions on topics such as positive attachment styles, mental health, sustainable living, wellness, beauty, and the impact of social connections. And today I will be discussing the topic of attraction in friendships and relationships, plus dating, and much more. And I'll be joined by the wonderful Emma. Emma is a former nurse turned actress and also has her own podcast. And I'll let you tell me more about that. So how's things going? How's your podcast going?
Really well. So I'm launching a podcast this month called Sex from Every Angle.
Awesome.
It came about actually off the back of a spiritual awakening I had last summer.
Amazing.
And I felt called to help people reconnect with sex, and not even just in the sense of sex with another person, but sex with themselves and their own sexual connection. And being a mum myself as well, it came about because I wanted to help empower and protect the next generation, especially when it comes to sex.
We do have a lot of sexual trauma in the world, especially on the end of women, and it can lead you to becoming repressed.
Interesting thing about repression, and whilst some may argue that society has become less sexually repressed because they are able to physically show their sexual side more, I would argue though that we are still very much sexually repressed from an emotional point of view. People are still very disconnected. Not everybody, but I do feel like the majority are still very much disconnected from an emotional intimacy involved in sex and that deep emotional connection. And I don't know, is it the fault of things like Love Island, social media, dating apps like Tinder? I mean, this is what I explore in my podcast when we look at sex from every angle, and I speak to sex coaches, porn stars, sex educators. We're looking at it from all angles.
Yeah, I was just about to say, fortunately for me, I feel like I had very, very great mum. Amazing. My mum is actually incredible. My mum really taught me balance. She's an incredible woman. Yeah. She taught me how to accept other religions. She taught me how to embrace my sexuality without letting it kind of control me. Yeah, and sometimes and my mum, even for example, the other day, my sister went to Pussy Palace. And mum was like, I can't wait for her to wake up and tell me about it. Yeah. And she's a Muslim woman.
Love it.
Do you know what I mean? Pussy Palace is a collective of women who promote events and parties that are based on inclusivity and freedom of expression, where people don the most wonderful themed clothing to celebrate freedom of expression and are free to wear as much or as little as they want. Some of the past themes include Renaissance and zodiac signs. But I was about to say that, yes, I feel like because sex on one hand, because of so much sexual trauma in the world, it's become even quite a taboo for some people to discuss it. I feel like it's either trauma or you're enjoying it. Yeah. But there's a little grey area.
Exactly. And that's what my podcast aims to demystify, is to just get us all talking about stuff. There is so much power in just simply speaking your truth with no judgment, no shame, no guilt attached to that. Yeah. And ideally that is what it's all about. Leading in love is coming back to love just is.
Exactly.
It just is.
It makes me think also about like in the church, like we talk about no sex before marriage. And I wish we could go deeper on this conversation, because it seems like that only the people that are living in the ideologies of the church or completely are against it or talking about it. Luckily for me, I'm on a just Christian dating app, and they have like live talking sessions, and I listen in. But I feel like even then, it's almost like the people that only come into the forefront are the people that are completely
Over
against
one way.
it. I used to follow this girl. She's a YouTuber, and she had so she was like preaching or share. I wouldn't even say preaching, because I no harsh judgment, about celibacy. Then all of a sudden she came out. She's like, I've been having sex, and I've been having loads of it, and I couldn't stop doing it. And it's really, it was really funny.
But this is it, Mutia. This is what I mean. It's coming back to that place of love, and love just is. There's no judgment. There's no labels. It just is. It's a feeling, and it's a feeling that you can't put into words, and it's only you know the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't need somebody to tell you.
It's both beautiful and messy and complicated and simple as everything.
That's life.
So yeah, thank you. That was a great intro, like nice warm up into you want more of what we can find on your podcast.
One of the episodes I'm going to do is about sex and religion.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So we'll get started on this podcast on the topic of attraction, as I said. So there's a lot of questions here, so let's see what we get through. Let's see where we are led.
And I'll say as well, disclaimer, like I'm no expert in this, but I think it's like, it's important, isn't it, to have these conversations, just again coming back to simply hearing different people's perspectives and truth.
But you know what, I've got a strong opinion on expert opinion. A lot of expert opinion is funded opinion. So like human beings need to have conversation. Like everybody believes that most scientific proof is backed by a company wanting you to prove this fact. People have their books to sell, people have their medicines to sell. So me and you, like literally, we're just
speaking from our heart.
Yeah, exactly. So
and we are the experts in our own
exactly
hearts,
and maybe some people will be able to relate.
Exactly.
So we're going to start off with the nature of attraction. So what are your thoughts? Because I feel like attraction it's a broad spectrum. What are your thoughts on initial attractions? How does it differ between, how does platonic attraction and romantic attraction compare, do you feel like? For example, there's this girl that I'm like literally besties with now. And when I met her, I was like, I really like her. I'm going to be her friend. And then she didn't like me. But now we're besties. It worked.
Was this me? No.
It was one of my friends. Funnily enough, like we've got like a name. She doesn't even remember. I was like talking to her. She just shut me down. And I was like, wow, and I looked at her and I was like, oh my God, who's that amazing? She looks amazing. I want to be friends. And we are.
People do that to me a lot as well. Like, I think I got told once when I was younger, like, I thought you were really annoying when I first met you, but now I love you. I'm like,
that's awful.
Thanks, I think. But do you know what? Isn't it interesting when you mature and you get to a point now where I no longer need external validation. I no longer need of course, I love. Like, I'm a romantic, okay? But I've got to the point now where I can safely sit here and say, I love myself, and I love myself unconditionally. I love myself when I'm a bitch. I love myself when I make mistakes.
And that's how you will love other people.
And if you can't sit there and say that you feel that way about yourself, you can't do that for others. You can't love someone else. Truly, So going back to attraction.
So we've mentioned something about platonic attraction. What about like your initial thoughts on romantic attraction? Do you
I think let's distill it down. What is attraction at its heart? It's energy, okay? And I know some people bandy about the law of attraction and it's woo-woo and stuff, but it's very real, okay? And so when you have an attraction to someone, whether that be platonic or sexual or somewhere in the middle, you're not sure, I think it's hard to put it into words because it's a feeling, isn't it? Yeah. You feel drawn to someone, or you feel drawn to a place or a building or a job or career. So I think to distill it down to well, what do you find attractive about someone? It's so hard.
Yeah,
I don't know, you can't.
I haven't quite asked that question. It was more like, what are your feelings about it? Not what.
Feelings.
Yeah.
I guess it is. It is a feeling, isn't it? It's something you can't. I don't know. Can you put it into words when you have when you feel that attraction?
I feel like
to
at different stages in my life, like I was attracted to people to fulfill different needs.
Okay.
And I feel like now, even like my friendships, I choose different friendships now. For now, for example, my lifestyle has changed.
Yeah.
And so when I was younger, I was looking for like people
that
were fun, people that like to party hard.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
Yeah.
if someone like now, it's like kind of, I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
And in terms of men, I was thinking about this the other day. When I was younger, I would say like, maybe like not younger, maybe like 5 years ago, maybe like I was more attracted to the grizzly bear, and now I'm like, now I want like a teddy bear. Do you know what I mean? But now it's like, you know, the guy that seemed a bit rough around the edges, I wanted that. And then I was like, now I'm like, no, actually I want like a nice teddy bear.
But do you
like,
feel as well though, I certainly am moving more to a place of, it's not necessarily a physical appearance that attracts me about someone now. It's an energy. It's an energy at its heart. I guess you can sense if someone is emotionally available and emotionally, look, none of us are all healed. Well, we are healed. You can heal in an instant. But what I mean is, okay, so for example, I'll give you an example. I saw a fit guy at the train station the other day, physically attractive. This is going to sound, I'm not judging, but then he pulled a vape out.
Yeah, I get you.
And I was like,
okay.
But it was because I realised on a subconscious level, and again, there's no judgment for people who drink, do drugs, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's
You're not
because
aligned to that person.
I'm not aligned to it.
Oh, really?
Because it's like, they're doing those things to fill a void within
they might
themselves.
not be attracted to you if you turn around and said, I don't drink.
I mean, oh my gosh, I made the mistake of signing up to a dating app for all of not even 2 hours. And I put on it that I was vegan. Okay. And I had 2 matches again. And it's so superficial. It's like people you find physically attractive. But neither of them had read that I was vegan. And I was like, oh, hi, so you're vegan too. And they were like, no, okay, bye. I was like,
So it's okay to be attractive for someone for what they do and don't do. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because in the same way, like some people,
we don't need to be offended by it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like different, like what to have your needs met. Sometimes you need reckless, crazy fun. So when I was younger, I was attracted to people that could offer me that, and now I don't want that. Well, moving on to the next question. I've kept these questions quite vague because I love just having natural flowing conversation. We're gonna see what conversation attracts us.
Exactly.
I love
it.
that.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So moving on to the next questions. How do you define emotional or spiritual connections? Do you believe in soulmates or soul connections? And why or why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, this is very apt.
Yeah, so I was going to say I could say,
I will say I feel that yes, I do believe in soul connections, and that is that attraction we feel, because it's our soul, on a soul level we feel there's a contract to fulfill with this person. And I mean, look, I'm no spiritual coach, but from my understanding there's 3 main types of soul connection. You have karmics, soulmates, and twin flame. Yeah. Karmics and soulmates, there can be many. I think we're fed this lie that you have one soulmate. And a soulmate can be and a soulmate can be platonic as well. You know those friends that you have where you just instantly feel like even me and you, like we've known each other.
Friendships.
We've known each other in past lives, and you just feel that instant sense of comfort, home. You know each other. You know each other. Okay, so that is like a soulmate level connection. Then you get karmics where, not always, but often they can be quite toxic, but not always. It can just be quite a simple lesson. Okay. But what you find is, if you find yourself in the same situation patterns, like especially relationship wise or friendship wise, and you're having the same issues, that's probably because it's a karmic cycle that you need to complete and learn and move on from. And then you get twin flames, and I mean, there's lots of, you can go to spiritual guides about that.
You believe it basically,
but I do, and but I do believe you only have one twin flame.
What I believe, I believe in karmic soulmates. I feel like I've come into people's lives and I can teach them something and they can teach
lessons.
me something.
It's all lessons.
And I feel like some of it came down to like maybe trauma, like childhood trauma.
That's what
like,
they say. It's wounds that
my dad didn't live the healthiest lifestyle, to be honest with you. I can say that because he passed away at the age of 35 or something ridiculously young. And I used to want to, as a child, it was so strange. I used to feel like I wish I was a child, so I shouldn't have had these thoughts. But I was thinking, I wish I could have helped my dad. This is called Leading in Love podcast, and I didn't start it when I was going to church, but then I came back to church, so it's kind of weird that I was attracted to do this. That might have been part of my
your
soul's
mission.
Exactly, because I was like, my business, I had this business called Pretty Kind London. The products were called Heaven Sent, Rose Up,
there you go,
You Are Gold.
And
it was like, it's almost like my soul knew I was going to go to church again.
And all those little intuitive things that we shut down and we get so disconnected from because we live such busy lifestyles now, where we're so distracted by TV and you know, we can do anything in an instant now in society, which can be wonderful, but it can also be then so distracting to what actually is our soul crying out to do in this life. And I've just started reading The Power of Now, actually, where he talks about we've got a kind of a pandemic of people who just constantly are thinking. We can't just be. You
know what one book helped me with that was called The Organized Mind in the Days of Information Overload. It's about neurolinguistic programming. I can't even say. And basically it just programmed me to like think before I speak, which I still don't do it quite that amazing, but it's like I would have been chaotic if I hadn't read that book. But I also feel like sometimes it's in terms of like we were talking about, do you believe in spiritual connections and soulmates? I feel like sometimes your soul will feel called to do different things in different stages. So sometimes you will have a book and you're not ready to read it. And then when you're ready to read it, you'll read it.
Oh yeah, like I had the book The Secret sitting on my shelf. I kid you not, for like 10 years.
Yes, exactly.
It took me 10 years to finally pick it up and go, oh, okay, this is why I need to be reading
it's so funny because like I also feel like that was my experience with religion, because it's against popular opinion that sometimes you need to go through things and need to pull away and come back. When I left the church, I said very passively, I was very like open to it. I was like, who knows?
And I think we as a society have got to get better at setting those boundaries. That is love.
Allowing people to be where they're at and
allowing differences. It's all good. It's all okay.
But what about qualities that attract you to a person?
We've
got an idea already. You said vegan and healthy.
I guess. Yeah, I was thinking about this actually. It's like, what does make you think, oh, that person's fit? Like, what is it? Is it because they're, conventionally attractive, or what is conventional attraction? I think for me though, it is, it's like you can sense when someone looks after their body and is aligned, and I guess that then manifests physically. They have a glow or an aura about them. Your emotional world, but your physical world as well, then that shows on the outside.
I would say in terms of trait, like emotional intelligence is so important. Like you can't just be charismatic and interesting. If you are not consciously engaging in reflective thought about
it's such a turn off, isn't it?
You think and how you affect other people. I am not going to make excuses for you. I will.
It's such a turn off because as well we all have to. I hate to say this, but the only person that's going to save you is you. We have to take responsibility for our triggers.
So I'm not going to make excuses for a man that's like, I just don't know how to communicate. Okay, grow up. See you later. No, I just don't. I'm not doing it anymore. I know. It's harsh.
I think as well that we have to be mindful. Whilst I fully support in no longer enabling immature or toxic behaviour, I think it's about being mindful. It's that we don't even need to say no. I don't know, maybe we do need to say no in a harsh way, but I think it's, again, bringing it back to love. Because if you're at a place where you're so in love with yourself and focused on yourself, I feel anyway that you're going to attract the right person. It's not even going to be an issue. You're not even going to have to set those boundaries, because you just won't attract that kind of.
Just don't let the bar be in hell. That's what this is my new say. Like, sometimes the bar is in hell. Like, you will literally put up with hell. Like, let the bar be be human. Humans communicate, humans love, humans care, and if you're saying you're struggling with that, like, wow. I'm communicating with this guy at the moment, and I like to send voice notes. I don't really like writing because I can't be bothered. You know, as you know, we've got our own podcast offline.
I know.
And he said he doesn't like sending voice notes. I was like, you know what? I don't mind as long as you don't mind me sending voice notes. He said he's happy to listen to my voice notes. Yeah. But he doesn't really feel comfortable sending them. And I respect that. Because I've had even guys go, 1 minute, I'm not listening to that. How dare it's so disrespectful. Do you know what I mean?
It's just like being mindful again of not, and this is the thing I've learned a lot about love, is love shouldn't make you dim your light and suppress your truth. That's not love. And if you can find someone, like you say, because that is it as well, love isn't all rainbows and sunshine. It's easy to love someone when everything's all good and hunky-dory, isn't it? But can you love someone when you're with your differences? Where do you draw the line where you have to say, well, actually, this is actually not love because I'm actually sacrificing my boundaries or my truth and my authenticity.
Do you know what the truth is? I feel like if you're at a certain level and you've done certain work on yourself, it's better to be alone than be too understanding, because that person will find their people. Do you know what I mean? Don't abandon yourself
and just have
because you're so overly empathetic that and it's almost a bit narcissistic to feel like, oh, I'm so important to this person in his life. Like, if I don't do this, he's not going to be okay.
Like, have faith and trust in people's own abilities. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is step back
and let them find the right people for them. And if you feel like, oh, this is gonna like lead to me abandoning or neglecting myself, let them be with someone that's more aligned to that.
But it's also about, again, just looking at the bigger picture. And look, you can love someone from afar. If you truly love someone, you can say, I love you enough to set you free.
And that's a wrap for this Leading in Love podcast, episode 5, part 1. Make sure you look out for episode 5, part 2. Once again, on the topic of attraction of the Leading in Love podcast, in which we will be starting with the segment of meeting people. So until next time, guys, and remember, be kind to yourself, each other, and the planet.